Certified quality, certified confidence, certified pre-owned Nissan. Go to nissanusa.com/CPO or your local Nissan dealer to learn more.
Top Gun DUI defense attorney Myles Berman is going to be joining us next. We are Heidi and Frank.
It's the Heidi and Frank Show. Call Heidi and Frank now at 800-955-5567. Follow them on Twitter at Heidi and Frank. And watch the show live for minimal consideration at HeidiandFrank.com. Now, here's Heidi and Frank on 95.5 KLOS and KLOS HD1, Los Angeles.
Heidi and Frank Show. Labor Day weekend is fast approaching. Then you're probably going to go out and you're probably going to partake in some beers and some barbecuing and
more so than usual, out. Yeah. You got the day off.
Yeah, and then you don't have to. It's Monday this time around.
Right, but yeah, so Sunday night, I think
people
go out and drink. Yeah.
And if you do happen to get pulled over, we need to call Top Gun DUI defense attorney Myles Berman. Where is he? Get him in here.
Let's see.
There he is.
Look at that.
One in Myles. Good to see you.
He always comes in, always looking perfectly coiffed.
He's Top Gun.
Suit, and here I am in my sweatshirt.
Hey, Smeeze.
Hi, good to see you, honey.
Good to see you, Myles.
Thanks, you too, Frank.
The great thing Myles has been doing, he got on Twitter, and now on the weekends, right before the weekend starts, he always posts the checkpoints where they're going to be, because that's on the is that on the public knowledge on the website of the LAPD and the Sheriff's Department. And you just relay it to all of us. So thank you for that.
Yep.
We always retweet.
Actually, your listeners should thank you because you're the one who convinced me to get on Twitter and Facebook and all the social media stuff.
And you liking it? You having a good time with it? I know it's kind of a pain in the ass. But.
Yeah, it's so much.
I've got a tweet. I haven't tweeted in 2 days. There's
so
pressure.
Much.
Right. I think it's tough for us, too, because it's like we come and do this radio show, and Twitter, it's like, whatever I want to say, I usually just say here. So on Twitter, I'm like, I already kind of said everything.
Do you guys check right away to see if it's retweeted or?
I mean, it can be, I guess, a habit where it's like you're always checking to see what's going on, and you can't live without your phone. I notice that sometimes. It's like, okay, I haven't looked at it for 5 minutes. Somebody retweeted it, somebody commented. Nope, crap.
What I love is
post views and all that.
What I love is the I think we may have talked about it, where people have the phantom vibration in their pocket, where there's not even your phone's not even on
vibrator?
you. But I have experienced that. But yeah, where you're like, oh, my phone, and your phone's not even in your pocket, but you feel the phantom.
Yeah, I felt that too.
You felt it?
Yeah.
I've never felt that because I don't have my phone on vibrate, but that's weird.
Of all the holidays that are around celebrating with drinking. Is Labor Day weekend one of the big holidays where most people get busted?
Yes, it's a very big holiday for DUI enforcement. A lot of people are partying and barbecues still. Weather's warm, and the cops are going to be out in full force. Last weekend they were out in big time. There were 10 checkpoints that we knew of that we posted and tweeted.
And normally there's how many?
Oh, I would expect at least that many, if not more, this weekend, all throughout Southern California, your listening audience.
Is it random, or do they target certain areas more than others?
It depends on the history of the police agency. If they go to a place where they pick up people for DUI, they're going back, yeah. And if they go to a place where there aren't a lot of people, then they're not going back. These checkpoints get funded by the state, local, and federal government, so they also have to show results, and in order to get refunded. So it's there's an incentive to post checkpoints place checkpoints where they're going to stop and arrest drivers.
Now, if I see a checkpoint, and I won't do this, but I'm just curious. If I see a checkpoint up ahead and I go, oh, crapola, I'm going to do a Yui here and then get away. Somebody going to leave that checkpoint and come chase me?
I would actually think your first thought was, what's that number again? Oh, yeah, 8884-TOP-GUN.
I got that on my phone. I got that. I know that. But in that moment where I go, hey, Myles, I had 2 glasses of wine. I'm not drunk, but I don't know. I haven't had a lot to eat. But I'm not drunk, but there's a checkpoint up ahead. There's a line of cars. What does she do? What do I do?
It's interesting. There's supposed to be turnoffs at checkpoints, and so people have the right to not go through the checkpoint. But the problem is that the turnoffs or the escape routes,
there.
right, they're monitored as well. So, they know that people try to avoid the checkpoints for whatever reason, but...
this is why I drink at home. Do you see why I stay home?
Yeah.
I open my Chardonnay, I sit on my couch, not a cop in
So
sight.
you wait till you're almost like you're the car behind the car that's getting checked, and then you have your windows down, and you yell, "Damn it, I forgot to pick up the milk! I need to go back to...
my
She's
wife
going
is
to kill me
me
if I forget the milk!"
milk run.
Yeah.
Sorry, officer, I'm on a milk run right now.
Yeah,
wife is
I gotta
gonna kill
go
me
back.
right
I'm
now.
sorry. I haven't been drinking. We're a milk family.
Yeah,
Most of it goes chocolate.
It's interesting when checkpoints first started, people were really inflamed about it because it was a big disruption and
Right.
they were still kind of new and people weren't used to it. Now people are used to seeing checkpoints ahead. But when you drive through a checkpoint, you have the same rights as you do when you're pulled over by a police officer. You only have to identify yourself, show proof of insurance.
Don't have to say, where are you heading from tonight?
Yeah, people don't have to voluntarily answer those questions, those investigation questions.
So tough not to.
And then you got the DMV. It's
It's hard.
It's not the criminal system. It's the DMV system. So they can take your license away. And you're battling with two courts, like DMV court, and then there's criminal court.
Right. Anytime somebody's arrested for DUI, there are two issues. DUI alcohol. Drugs is coming. Two issues with the DMV for alcohol. You have the court and you have the what's called an implied consent suspension, where the DMV will take a proceeding against your license as well. What's been interesting in all these years, and I haven't said it publicly because I didn't want to tip off the DMV, but for years the DMV only took and takes action against somebody who gets arrested for DUI alcohol. If you get arrested for DUI drugs, then they don't take action against your license.
What?
So yeah, it's been that way.
That could be prescription pills, and so
Or
marijuana now.
So
It's prescription
upon
drug.
conviction they'll take an action, but they won't take a parallel action, although it's coming. And so I've been told that it's coming, and it's
What's easier to defend, a marijuana DUI or alcohol DUI? Probably marijuana,
well,
right?
in court.
Because as far as like the field sobriety test for marijuana, they just tell you silly jokes, and if you laugh at them, then you're stoned. How do they test
What's
you
a
in the
cat's
field?
favorite color?
Here's
Purple.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and you're like, he's totally stoned.
Milk Dud Run.
No,
and do you have
sober.
something to eat?
Right, exactly.
You have any munchies? So it used to be. Now let's just talk about marijuana.
Okay.
It used to be that it was difficult for them to prove marijuana cases because alcohol. There's been tons of studies because alcohol was legal. So cops and civilians would be dosed up. They'd be doing field sobriety tests. They'd be driving. They'd be looked at, videotaped, and investigated to determine at what levels they're impaired by alcohol. That's how we got to originally 0.15, 0.10, and then 0.08. With marijuana, it wasn't legal.
Wait,
So
are you talking about
could-
it used to be legal was 0.15?
Yeah.
That's still pretty low.
That's that. It may be for some people, Frank.
Yeah, for some person.
Normal people.
That's it's not twice the legal limit. So today,
It's still less than that.
yeah.
But we're talking about marijuana right now, and how it's how do they measure it in your system?
Yeah, so what's happened is that they haven't, there weren't any studies to correlate the amount of marijuana in your system and the chemicals that are marijuana that cause impairment. They didn't have any studies to determine how much nanograms had to be in your system in order for you to be impaired.
Right, because I'm not a smoker, so and all of a sudden,
Well, you don't
Frank,
have a breathalyzer. I
No,
guess
but-
if you give them the breathalyzer and they try to light the
Oh,
other
to
end of
find
it, they're
out-
probably high.
It's a blood test.
a blood test.
It's a blood test.
But like, if we might have the same amount in our system, but because you smoke and I don't, so I might be really impaired. You're like, you lightweight. Where we just went, we have the same amount in our system, but I'm all over the.
But that's the same way with alcohol too. You might get that functioning alcoholic who walks around double legal limit, but that's him functioning. But he's still over the legal limit. It doesn't matter.
Right. Now you both of you are talking about a great issue, which is one of the ways in which we attack these cases in court because everybody's affected differently.
Body chemistry.
Although the law assumes everybody is the same. So everybody at a .08 is impaired by alcohol. The machines are calibrated to assume everybody has the same relationship between alcohol in their breath and alcohol in their blood.
My mom can have a white wine spritzer, and she's, oh my goodness, oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I drank a bottle of wine, and it's like, seriously, Mom? You had a half a white wine spritzer.
Yeah, my mom had a glass of Chardonnay once, and I found out her favorite position wasn't missionary. I'm like, how are we talking about this? She's like, I don't know.
Which is the whole point. Alcohol affects everybody
Was that
differently.
in Indiana? That
Well, no, I didn't find out. Like, she's like, hey, this was a discussion around the table. And she goes, well, just so you know, my favorite position is not missionary. And then walks into the kitchen.
Aren't you glad you grew up?
I know. I'm like, wait, oh my God. Then we had to figure out what it was. And that was a weird game of charades.
Anyway, so getting back.
Wheels are falling off of this thing.
I know how you got to missionary, because marijuana begins with an M.
There you go. That's
Missionary
where we
begins
got
with an
that.
M.
That's what it is.
Actually, we have a call from Mark. Mark has a marijuana DUI question. So you got your headphones on. There we go. Mark, say hello to Myles L. Berman.
Heidi and Frank, what's up? Long-time listener. Hi, guys. Anyways, hey, so yeah, with marijuana being legal all over California now, we know that marijuana DUIs are coming about, but you kind of answered all my questions already. How do they test for that? Or how long should I wait before I drive after I smoke?
Well, marijuana can stay in your system for quite a long time, days, weeks. And so I can't really, I'm sure a month. I mean, I'm being
Right.
facetious.
I heard it was a
but
month.
it's scary. I mean, it really is scary, because the way the law tries to proceed, they try to make it black and white, and it's just not black and white. So, I can't really tell you how long you should wait. Obviously, at a minimum, a matter of substantial number of hours. But people are getting high at night, and they have a medical marijuana card.
That's the tough part.
Or in the morning, and then they're driving,
Well, it's
or throughout the
prescription medication.
day.
Prescription
It is.
medications often say on the back of
It is.
don't operate heavy machinery, but I mean,
But if I Vicodin for back
but
pain.
the most abused drug are prescription meds.
Yeah, that's true.
Which has led to another problem, or another issue that we see. We are seeing, and we have seen for a number of years now, first it was a spike, and then it's continued at a high number of people who are arrested for DUI prescription drugs. And what's really scary is that this runs the gamut from people who are in their teens to people who are 70s and 80 years old. Not that that's so old, but we see clients where it's a grandmother who, although, not that the grandmother was so old.
Yeah, because you're a grandpa, Myles. I mean, and you look exactly the same as I met you 15 years ago. Talk about a deal with the devil.
Thanks. But they're stunned when they get into an accident.
Right.
And all of a sudden, they're looking for something to find. The police are looking for something to blame it on. And if the person is taking prescription drugs, which is similar to alcohol, you get into an accident with alcohol, they try and turn it on you. But it's shocking for people who are lawfully taking prescription drugs and end up getting arrested for DUI, both misdemeanor and felony.
So because the alcohol
DUI accident or felony DUI.
The alcohol DUI has been around for so long. You said there's so much study and investigation and how they're trained to spot people and stuff like that, and how they're not. I mean, it's all new with marijuana. Is the marijuana DUI? I mean, people are getting marijuana DUIs already. Is that something for you in your department easier to defend because it's such a vague world in marijuana DUIs, or is it equal as the alcohol to defend?
It just depends on the individual case. There are dynamics that exist in a DUI marijuana case that don't exist in DUI cases. But again, there's a presumption that, not a legal presumption, but prosecutors often presume that a certain amount of marijuana in your system will equal, for example, a .08.
Because if you have a real problem, from my understanding, if I have legitimate back pain, like prescription pills, and I take a little bit of marijuana before I have to go to work, well, I'm not getting high because it's going to the pain. It's when right? I mean, so it's like, I took it for my legitimate back pain, so I'm not stoned right now. I'm actually just pain free.
Mm-hmm. That's another dynamic. Yeah, that's another dynamic that exists in a DUI marijuana case. When you have a prescription card, prescription for marijuana, that doesn't necessarily exist in DUI alcohol, and that is that people are taking.
God, I would love to have that. Though. I have a prescription for wine
for all the mental pain she has.
My Cabernet card, people.
Yeah, the self-medication for alcohol defense usually doesn't work.
I would imagine not.
Myles Berman hanging out with us, the Top Gun DUI defense attorney. So Labor Day weekend, like I said, it's fast approaching. It's this weekend. We want you to drive safe, be smart. But if you happen to have the problem, you can always call Myles. Myles, give him the number again.
888-4-TOP-GUN.
You know that. 888-4-TOP-GUN.
The number 4.
TOPGUN. He's always been a big supporter of the show and a very knowledgeable guy who can get the job done for you. So Myles L. Berman, 888-4-TOP-GUN if you need him this coming Labor Day weekend.
And also, you can follow him on Twitter. He can give you all the updates and everything. Myles L. Berman at Myles L. Berman on Twitter, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So just follow him on Twitter or TopGunDUI.com.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Come right back. We're Heidi and Frank.
You're listening to The Heidi and Frank Show
Heidi and Frank return in a moment.
on 95.5 KLOS.
Well, I don't know which day I'm going to be there, but I will be out at the LA County Fair. I like to go every
When
year.
they're showing you?
I think week from Monday. Cutest little piglet you ever did see. I do love the LA, and I hate you so much. Such a jackass.
That's why she needs the wine.
Totally. I should be drinking 2 bottles a night.
Prescription wine.
Oh, awesome. If you are going to go out to the LA County Fair, keep in mind, if you haven't tried one of the MyPillows yet, the LA County Fair is a perfect opportunity for you because the MyPillow people are going to be out the LA County Fair at Expo Building number 6. So check that out. And we love MyPillow around here. Honestly, the best night's sleep you will ever have. If you're one of those people you wake up sore neck, sore back, and you're blaming your mattress, don't necessarily blame the mattress. You could have a bad pillow.
You can also throw this thing in the washer, just like a pair of jeans and dryer, and it's guaranteed for 10 years not to go flat, and it doesn't heat up, so you don't have to wake up in the middle of the night and flip your pillow over to get the cool side. It is pillow technology that I don't understand. But you can call them 800-299-9358 or simply go to mypillow.com and use a code. They have the code KLOS there to get an instant 25% off.
It's time to find freedom, to find summer. The Chevy Summer Drive. Get great offers on most 2014 Chevy models.